Guys, as I'm not really sure when the commercial break will be ending here. We are in the round of 32, which means that we're still in best of ones here, and spawning in the bottom position, it's going to be GoSuHwangSin, the Protoss sensation here. He's been playing so well lately, and up here in the top position, it's going to be VTgiX. Now, I know it says VTgiX. Of course, VT used to be Spade's team, and then he kind of made a new elite team, and they all practice. I believe it's in Florida, in Miami, in the Rain team house. So Jix here spawning in the top position.
Yeah, and Hwangsin shown some very strong PvZ styles on this map. Specifically, he likes the Blink Stalker timings very, very strongly, but he might find a very roundabout way to get there, and the way to do is to stall for a lot of time. So, for example, he, I think one time he opened up Charge, kind of similar to what we saw the other game where I believe it was Rainer's dad tried to do something like that, and he ended up baiting a lot of roaches, and that way he can get Blink Stalker timing into key, and then he had like a very strong +2 time that came actually much earlier than Rainer's dad's timing was. And, Hwangsin loves that kind of stuff. He loves forcing you to do something that you're not comfortable with, and then really getting you in his comfort zone and play by his pace, his terms. Now, Gix shouldn't be underestimated. He's on Rain after all, and a very solid Zerg player indeed.
Oh, he is.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, Jix is absolutely fantastic. But Hwangsin here, guaranteed he's doing a 2-base all-in, and that's just how he plays PvZ. If he's got any other way of playing it, I haven't seen it in a really, really long time. He used to go for like mass upgrades and straight into like Archons and High Templar, but over the past like month or so, he basically just like 2-base all-ins every game. He tries to do some mild harassment, either a 2 or 3 gate pressure or DT's Stargate. So either goes the tech route or just the straight up warp gate pressure, and then after that he'll just keep powering up, getting his expansion, getting a bunch of probes, and hit you with a huge 2-base timing. So we'll have to see here exactly which one he chooses to do. He's got so many of these different 2-base builds in his arsenal, Frodon, that it's just so hard to prepare for Hwangsin.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the hardest part about anything, just the 2-base timing could come in any shape or form. Yeah. So, I mean, you just have... That's really the true mark of a great Zerg player in terms of ZVP. Being able to really understand what Protoss can and can't do. Small things, like, Zerg players have really been trying to steal gases from Protoss, or, at least do... That's why, Zerg sometimes even opt to forego that passivity and go for 2-base timings a la Violet, who instead of, grabbing that third hatchery and, being passive, he goes for his own Hydra timings or goes for something and does damage to Protoss instead. What will Gix choose to do? I'm not sure, but Hwangsin looks like he's going to go for an early expand here.
Yeah, he's only got the one gateway out, and one build that I love to see Hwangsin do, it is so awesome, is 1-gate expand into Twilight Council Dark Templar, and his Dark Templar hit a bit later. They hit at like the 8.5-minute mark or so, but they are still just so freaking good, man, because it's just a timing that Zerg players are not going to expect, and those DTs can do damage almost every single time, and then he follows it up with a huge +2 timing push. So I'm thinking he's going to do that. Down goes the next one. He's got a Zealot, a couple of sentries there ready to defend, and I wouldn't be surprised here to see a Twilight Council go down. We see he's got a bit of gas saved up. I'll have to keep an eye on that. I mean, the one big thing, though, and I wanted to make sure to say this here before I let you sneak back in here, Frodon, is just go for Hydras. If you think your opponent is going for a big 2-base timing, go for Hydras. Every time. Do it. Hydras are so good against everything. If he's going for, like, a 2 Stargate, like Void Ray Phoenix timing, if you have mass Hydras, easy peasy. If he's going for just gateway units, if you have Hydras, easy peasy. Just, it doesn't matter, man. No matter what, Hydras are just going to do so much damage, because you never see the Colossus 2-base timing. It's a thing of the past. Frodon, Ross players aren't doing it anymore, and the current metagame says go for Hydras.
What if he goes for mass hallucinated warp prisms? Your Hydras can't be everywhere at one point, man. You're going to get dropped somewhere.
That
Yeah,
sounds like
5
fun.
warpisms coming all over your base. Which was the real one? They're all quote-unquote warping in. And Hydras are pretty slow. Can't be able to really do anything, but...
You're right, you got me there.
I'm not sure about that. GX, though, he is grabbing 3 gases as well as a Roach Warren. Dark Templar Shrine, this is the build you predicted / said you would like. This is the build that Huck used against ST. In fact, Hwangsin's even trapped one of his own probes, and looks like he's going to punish it accordingly with his own sentry. Hwangsin, though, again, this is a build that is intended on seizing map control away from Zerg. Normally, this is the period of time where Zerg would just love to take over the map, spread their creeps, spread their overlords, take over every watchtower, in this case only one. Have, Zerglings everywhere to keep tabs on your army as well as scout all kinds of information. And, this is the comfort zone of Zerg if they can live past a certain minute mark, which is around 9-10 minutes. Double Forge is on the way, though. Very interesting. Again, I was pointing this out before. You don't see this too often, but Gix sees Dark Templar Shrine with his Overseer, and that is huge.
It really is, man, and we see immediately he's morphing in another Overseer, so these Dark Templars here not going to be able to do any damage at all. And, man, it was so awesome. In the chat, someone was like, how can I donate? And I was like, katustarcraft@gmail.com, PayPal, donate. I'm just kidding, of course, guys. Just make sure to follow both Playhem here, Playhem TV, and you can check us out on Twitter as well. You got @Frodon and @KatuStarcraft. So that's all we need. We don't need your donations, man. Just keep watching, and that way we can have a good time with you. You can have a good time with us, and everyone wins.
Yeah, we win because we have a good time casting games, and we get Playhem gets more support so they can put out more games. What? You okay there, Katu?
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know what it is, and I don't know. My allergies are just literally killing me.
Oh, you were blowing your nose.
Yes.
I thought, a fly flew in your mouth and you were choking. But then, like, the fly, for some reason, some magical force happened and, like, the wings were, like, fluttering inside of your nose or something. And, I don't know, I thought you were, metamorphosis complete there, man. I was like, oh, dang, Katu, what's going on? But, guys, just support Playhem, follow the stream, and do what else. Otherwise, you can see great games between these two players, Hwangsin and GX. Hwangsin does lose that Dark Templar, but that was kind of expected. I mean, Hwangsin already got enough information. He says, okay, there's got to be a third base there. He saw creep, he saw something, so he's wanted confirmation. Meanwhile, he will transition normally.
Honestly, this is so freaking beautiful because, see, like, typically what Hwangsin does is he goes for a +2 just attack blink timing after he goes for this DT play. But this time, his Dark Shrine gets scouted just as it's finishing, and oh man, look at this, a gold-based sneak there from Jix. I just wanted to mention that quickly. And it gets scouted, so he's like, okay, I'm not going to be making as many DTs. I'm going to have a ton of extra gas. Let's put down a second forge, and then I can get +2/+2 for that timing and still go for this huge blink stalker play. And we see that he is now up to 6 gateways, so he's going to be able to produce stalkers basically infinitely. He has stopped his probe production. Oh man, what are you doing? HwangSin going for a Nexus? What? This never happens, Frodon. We are seeing history in the making.
I mean, I have seen Hwangsin go for multiple bases.
Lies.
But I usually see him. I've seen him go for more timing-oriented attacks, just because that's just the state of what Protoss felt like against Zerg. Now, if you take a fast third against a Zerg player, it's usually a sign that you feel confident enough to hold whatever Zerg can throw at you. Because for a while, there was a lot of timings for Zerg to shut down a third base, especially with Ling and Fester. That was a very popular way to do it. And Hwangsin, to do that, has to be feeling really confident here in his build, in his army integrity. Charge is almost about to finish with +2/+2, but with Infestors out, I mean, Charge Zealots, they can be as fast as they want, but after that first hit, they're just going to be staying there. So Hwangsin needs to transition out of this, and he is. He's getting Immortals. He's getting Templar Archives as well. Meanwhile, though, in Zergland, he is getting Neural Parasite. Very cool. A thing you don't see that often, and he is getting a bunch of Zergling upgrades here.
Dude, I've never seen a Zerg macro this well before. I mean, we're at the 13.5-minute mark, and GoSuHwangSin has 4 bases up. He's got a hive. He's got a ton of lings, roaches, infestors. He is, holy crap, man, he's going to win Providence. If he plays like this, he's going to win Providence. 14-minute mark. Can you believe this? This is actually crazy. He's got so many upgrades. He's getting +3 attack. He's getting adrenal glands, +2 carapace. This is scary.
Yeah,
I don't see how HwangSin
this is
wins.
this is the product of an unharassed, unmolested, unpenetrated Zerg here. Just, you know, GoSuHwangSin completely free to do everything you want. Just shows that he has strong mechanics enough to be able to do everything. +2/+2 did finish indeed for our Protoss player. Looks like he's gonna try to see a fourth engagement. Good protective force fields here. He's gonna throw down a couple extra though. And the infestors, a couple of them aren't even in range to fungals, but a couple do get off. Looks like HwangSin trying to wait for Storm, but he might not have enough time. Trying to see if he can get some feedbacks off. Sentries are super weak. HwangSin does get overrun here. Too many units here. HwangSin running back as fast as he can. He does warp in some stalkers, but you know, HwangSin, he felt pretty secure for a while, but just going to show you, man, GoSuHwangSin putting on the pain here. He's remaxing super easily because he does have that gold base. +3 does finish indeed for our Zerg player, and it's just going to be a very tough situation for HwangSin. He lost the majority of his tech units there.
Yeah, he did. The infestors got almost all sniped. He was just able to save, I think, 1 of them here. Actually, it looks like he saved 3 overall, but he took out in the entire army of HwangSin, and he's on 4 base, 1 of them a gold base. He's taking a 5th now. So, I mean, it goes without saying, he's going to be able to re-macro up really well. And most importantly, man, he took out all the immortals, so look what he's producing now. He's getting chitinous plating, he's getting ultralist, and without any immortals out, HwangSin here is going back into immortal production, and that's really going to serve him well.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how HwangSin really adapts at this point. Right now, GoSuHwangSin can almost make anything and really overrun HwangSin. HwangSin does have Storm. He does have a few Templar. He lost a lot of his sentries that were full energy. Those infestors fungals just devastated him completely. HwangSin signifying he wants to grab a 4th base, which I don't think I should agree with right now, just because he needs a stronger army base. He has so much supply room to really make his death ball big. Look at it. It is pretty much, I mean, at this point, it's kind of like that rubber band ball that just got stripped of so many layers at this point. He is a peeled onion at this point.
Yeah, just the core left. That piece of the onion there that you just can't quite cut into nice diced pieces. But here comes GoSuHwangSin. He is going in for another attack, and this time around there aren't any sentries to put down those beautiful force fields. But oh man, these are some of the most beautiful storms going down there, doing so much damage to those roaches. But now the ultras are in there. They're getting focus fired down by the immortals, and that means that they actually basically just disappear. But wouldn't you know it, man, GoSuHwangSin is going to fall back here for a second. HwangSin's like, whew, I held off the tier 3. It was ultraless. I'm safe for a bit here. I can get my gold base going, but the Greater Spire's done. And GoSuHwangSin here, he can go into some Broodlords, and you know what? Immortals, Archons, not very good against Broodlords. He's got to go into them. Why is
he's not going to be able to do it? I don't think he has a supply room to actually do that. He's committed too much of his armies to Zerglings and Ultralisk and Roaches, but HwangSin pushing out here, which I don't agree. Again, part of the reason why his army had success was through storms, and I mean, he's feeling so ambitious over here. His Archons are almost dying, and he does have upgrades. He does have more Stalkers warping in, but again, a huge part of him being able to successfully fend off that Zerg rush earlier was because of the storms, and now he doesn't have that AoE as much. He doesn't have that strong immortal backbone. He has a gold base that's not saturated at all, and you know, I'm not sure. And GoSuHwangSin at the same time, he's helping him by just going more ultras at this point.
Yeah, I just don't get it, man. Why are you going ultras versus these immortals? These immortals with +3 attack do 65 damage a hit to the ultralist. And you know what? It's not very hard to focus down an ultralist. It's not hard to click on it. It's not like you're trying to pick on a High Templar or a Ghost. And there we see these immortals here. They're just focusing them down. They're dying so quickly. And HwangSin here is going to get just a nice gift from GoSuHwangSin, which is that he just kept going ultras versus immortal stalkers.
Yeah, and just crushes the heart of any Zerg player. GoSuHwangSin was doing so well, and just like that, HwangSin gets the win over